KL Publications presents Love Hurts by Ryan C. Sanders, a journey of healing and reclaiming love. Sarah had grown up carrying secrets too heavy for a child, secrets that had shaped her in ways she barely understood. Sexual abuse in her early years had left scars that ran deep, tainting her understanding of intimacy, trust, and love. Her pain followed her into adulthood, into her marriage to Michael, a man who loved her but struggled to understand the invisible wounds that shaped her reactions and responses to him. Sarah's marriage had become a battlefield. Michael tried to reach her, love her, but the trauma she carried surfaced in angry outbursts and painful withdrawals. She often found herself triggered by small things, a look, a word, a touch. These moments spiraled into arguments, leaving her feeling trapped in guilt and shame. Maybe it would be best if I left, she thought, wanting to protect Michael from the storm inside of her. But Michael, a thoughtful and caring soul, didn't want to give up. I'll stand by you, Sarah. I just started reading a book from a coworker that said both need to heal for true relationship to work. And so began Michael and Sarah's journey through healing, using the principles in Shannon Thomas's book, Healing from Hidden Abuse. Stage 1, despair. Acknowledging the depth of pain. Sarah began her journey at the stage of despair, recognizing and facing the pain she had buried for so long. Her trauma had left her feeling as though she had no control over her emotions, with triggers and flashbacks assaulting her at random. She felt like a prisoner in her own mind, dragging Michael into her pain. But by acknowledging despair, Sarah took her first step toward understanding the depth of trauma that had controlled her life. This phase involved allowing herself to grieve the innocence lost and the trust broken in her childhood. Sarah spent days journaling, allowing herself to cry and feel the anger she had suppressed. She spoke to Michael about her past, laying bare her fears of being too broken to be loved. For the first time, she allowed herself to be vulnerable, and in that openness, Michael's presence felt comforting rather than threatening. Stage 2, education. Understanding psychological abuse and its effects. Once she acknowledged her pain, Sarah moved into education. This stage helped her understand how trauma had impacted her emotions, responses, and even her marriage. Through therapy and reading, she learned about the concept of triggers and how her brain, shaped by trauma, reacted defensively to perceived threats, even when no real danger existed. Sarah had previously lashed out at Michael without understanding why his gestures, meant to be comforting, felt threatening. The education stage taught her that her trauma responses were her brain's way of protecting her from hurt, even if it meant hurting those around her. She realized that her reactions were conditioned survival mechanisms, not reflections of her true feelings for Michael. This understanding helped her extend compassion to herself, and Michael began to see her not as angry or hurtful, but as a survivor learning to heal. Stage 3, awakening, accepting the depth of the impact. In the awakening stage, Sarah learned to confront her pain with honesty, moving beyond denial and accepting the full impact of her experiences. She acknowledged that her anger toward Michael was not truly directed at him, but at the past hurts that had been left unaddressed. This stage required courage, as she confronted her resentment, shame, and grief, all tangled up in the abuse that she had endured. During one emotional conversation, Michael held her as she cried, finally able to express the anger she had harbored for so long. "I'm sorry for pushing you away," she said, tears streaming down her face. This moment marked a breakthrough in her journey, as she understood that she wasn't just healing for herself, but also for the love they shared. Her heart softened, and she began to see that healing didn't mean hiding her pain from Michael, but sharing it in a way that allowed them both to grow. Stage 4, boundaries, reclaiming a sense of safety. As Sarah moved into the boundary stage, She learned how to establish safe spaces within her relationship and within herself. Setting boundaries allowed her to feel secure and empowered in her interactions with Michael, reducing the feelings of overwhelmed and defensiveness. She identified her triggers and communicated them to Michael, explaining why certain behaviors or phrases made her feel threatened. Together, they developed a system for handling triggers. If Sarah felt overwhelmed, she would take a break, stepping outside or practicing breathing exercises without fear of judgment. By establishing boundaries, Sarah found that she could finally separate past traumas from present reality, creating a buffer that helped her remain grounded in the here and the now. Michael respected her boundaries, recognizing that they were not walls but stepping stones to a healthier relationship. Stage 5. Restoration. Rebuilding identity and trust. In the restoration stage, Sarah began the process of reclaiming herself, nurturing the parts of her identity that had been suppressed by trauma. She found solace in creative outlets, rediscovering her love for painting and music and designing purses. These activities became a way to reconnect with her inner self, a version of her unscarred by the past. Michael supported her in this process, encouraging her to pursue activities that made her feel whole. They spent time together in simple, joyful moments where Sarah began to trust that love could be gentle and safe. Her trauma no longer defined her, and as she rebuilt her self-worth, she learned that she was not broken but resilient. Their marriage shifted as they focused on building shared memories rooted in love rather than fear of pain. Stage 6. Maintenance. Creating long-term practices for healing. In the final stage, maintenance, Sarah developed practices to ensure continued healing. She committed to regular therapy, journaling, and mindfulness exercises to stay attuned to her emotions and prevent her trauma from overshadowing her relationship. Sarah also started a support group, finding solidarity with others who had faced similar struggles. She was no longer alone in her pain, and sharing her journey with others fortified her resolve to keep her healing. Together, Sarah and Michael established rituals to nurture their bond, such as weekly check-ins where they openly share their feelings, successes, and challenges. These moments allow Sarah to stay grounded in the present, reinforcing her progress and creating a foundation of trust within their relationship. A new chapter of hope. Over time, Sarah's triggers became less frequent and less intense. Her marriage transformed from a place to conflict to a space of mutual support and growth. She still faced moments of pain, but they no longer consumed her. With each stage, she learned that healing was not about perfection, but about progress, taking one step at a time with compassion and courage. Sarah's journey through the 6 stages of recovery taught her that love could be both the cause of pain and the means of healing. Through patience and dedication, she and Michael built a relationship founded on understanding and resilience. In embracing her pain, Sarah discovered that true love did not require her to leave or to protect her husband from her healing. Instead, it allowed them to grow together, stronger and more connected, creating a future where love became her strength, not her vulnerability. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of healing, to the resilience of the human spirit, and to the love that endures through life's darkest chapters. With each step, she reclaimed herself, and in doing so, she found a way to truly love and be loved. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.